I'm back. At least I think I am. But first of all, I want to thank you all for all of your your caring comments, your messages to me. I can't tell you how kind, thoughtful, meaningful you were. Thank you very much. I really appreciated it. And on days when I needed kind of an uplift, I would go and look at your messages and really appreciated them. If I haven't responded, it means that somehow it got by me. But I think I've responded to every comment, and I really appreciate. Thank you very much. Thank you. So it's been, I'm not sure, maybe it's been a month since I had my radiation. And I really had a tough time in that, maybe I should have come on earlier to thank you, but you know what? I was depressed, and I didn't want you to see me depressed. You're always saying how uplifting I am and how positive I am, and I wasn't feeling very positive or uplifting at the time. I was feeling really kind of down, depressed. I think that's it. And as I say, I just didn't want people to see. I didn't want you to see me that way. And maybe that's a mistake because that's really real. That's the way I really felt. And I don't want you to think that I'm this Pollyanna that's always smiling and happy. And it's not like that. You know what? It's tough sometimes, and life is tough sometimes. And some of you told me your stories, and it's tough out there. But so maybe next time, oh, I don't even want to think of next time. But maybe I don't know. You do the best you can, right? And you do what you're feeling that you can do. So I finished with the radiation. I was really tired. In fact, I'm still tired. In fact, if I'm not constantly making videos, it's because I get tired. Do you know that I take 2-hour naps? So I'm still recuperating, and I'm not sure how long it will take, but I get tired and I just collapse. So at City of Hope in the radiation department, they have a table with about 3 chairs around it. And, well, I mean, there's other stuff also, but they've got a puzzle. And so people would, 1, 2, maybe 3 people would sit at the table and work on the puzzle. And so I would work on the puzzle. And this is so where you're waiting to be called in for radiation. And I got so obsessed about radiation that, not radiation, I got so obsessed about puzzles. I went on YouTube, and what did I do? I looked up puzzles, and I discovered this lovely lady, and her name is Karen Puzzles, and she's just this puzzle master, and she wins tournaments, or she competes in world tournaments, and she designs puzzles. It is so cute, and it's so fun to learn how to work a puzzle. I bet there are a lot of you out there that work puzzles, and it's so much fun. But the thing that I want you to know is that suddenly, you know how I can be obsessed about lipstick? Well, suddenly I was obsessed about puzzles, and I would watch all these videos about puzzles and the way she'd do them, and the people who got first place in international competitions, and the way that they match puzzle pieces. Well, they don't match them, but they put puzzle pieces that are all the same style in rows so that they could put them in, that they know that it's 2 outies and 1 innie. And who knew? There's a world of puzzles out there. So knowing me, one of the things I did was I started working on a puzzle. I've learned all about puzzles. Well, I don't know all about them, but I got obsessed with Karen's puzzles. Such a cute woman. So I enjoyed her. And then something happened. I went to the market, came home, and I was starving. and I'd bought a piece of sushi. Now, you're not supposed to eat raw sushi when you're undergoing radiation, but you can eat cooked sushi. So I took a bite of the sushi, and then I just took another bite. I swallowed the whole thing, and I thought I was going to die. The whole thing. And it went down my throat, and it got caught, and it was so painful. It was like a razor cutting down your esophagus. I'm talking pain. I mean, really, so much pain. I was doubled over. I thought I was really going to faint. The pain was that bad. But I was sure, and I'm positive, that the reason it was so painful was because of radiation. Now, I spoke to the radiologist, and they said, we don't think that it's from radiation, but I do, because I've swallowed things before where it gets caught and it hurts. Nothing hurt like this. So I'm sure it's radiation, and I know my body, right? I know that I sound scratchy, and it may be the after effects of that. So wait a second. So what happened? I swallowed this. It was so incredibly painful. You're getting the message, right? That it was painful. And then I couldn't swallow. I couldn't eat. I couldn't drink water. Nothing. And so I called up triage. They told me about something that's a medication that coats it's for ulcers, and it coats the lining of your esophagus. But it didn't do any good, or it did very little good. So I could only eat tiny, tiny amounts. And it was painful. So this went on for about, well, at least 8 or 9 days, where I could not swallow or swallow very little, and eating tiny, tiny amounts. In fact, the foods, remember you were told you need to chew 40 times and then swallow? They were right. You need to swallow 40 times. No, not swallow. You need to chew 40 times and then swallow. So that's what I do these days. I am so careful about the way I eat. And what do I eat? I'm eating oatmeal. Remember cottage cheese and fruit? How many of you are around my age and remember having cottage cheese and fruit? And I didn't want the healthy fruit. No, I wanted the heavy syrup. So one of my favorite things to eat these days is cottage cheese with pears, but in heavy syrup. And what else do I eat? Oh, my sister has a housekeeper who's a wonderful cook, and she made chicken soup for me. But she made the chicken soup out of Cornish game hens. So it had an incredible amount of flavor, but no fat, nothing like that. So I've been eating chicken soup, and she'd make matzo balls for me. And it was, so this is kind of it's what I've been existing on. And if my face looks gaunt, I've lost a lot of weight because I can't eat. And I wasn't hungry, and I was scared to eat. But now I'm much, much better, but boy, do I chew. So that happened. And then I must tell you, my husband, remember, he's 93. He's a very spry, nobody thinks he's 93. All the doctors think they're 70. They never think I'm 70, but they think that he's 70. Anyway, we had to get a dumpster because we have native plants and we needed to have them cut down, and then they have to be carted to the dumpster place. So what happened? My husband was concerned that the street wasn't wide enough because we had a 40-ton dumpster. So he goes out around 8:30 at night. It's dark. He has a flashlight, and he's measuring the street, and he falls. He trips over the curb. You would not believe what his face looked like. But it was purple, swollen, dripping blood. And he's just now, his face is now kind of more yellow and burgundy and navy blue. Oh, what we're just lucky that there was no, physical damage other than bruising and scarring and scraping and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Oh, plus, I didn't watch a lot of television. I watched a lot of more YouTube. One of the things I watched, but you've got to be a crazy food fanatic to watch this, and it was a 4-hour documentary by. Do you know who Frederick Wiseman is? He's a very famous documentarian, but it was about the I'm not pronouncing it right, the Troisgros brothers, and it's about their restaurant. Well, I was absolutely obsessed by it. And it starts you from the brothers and the chefs at a farmer's market trying, deciding what to buy and what they would make. And you see them at the farmer's market choosing, raw stuffs and deciding and sitting down at a table and deciding what to cook. And then you see the cheese maker, the man who makes the beef, and you're out in the countryside. You're seeing how all the ingredients come together, and then you're at the restaurant, and the way they serve, the way they cook. I found it absolutely fascinating. I love to be, oh my goodness, the restaurant is out, what would you say? It's out in the wilds. It's at a beautiful, what would you call it? It's like a farm, and you see the greenery, and you see the animals, and you see the trees, and they're right out the window while you're watching them eat. If you're obsessed about food, watch it. And you're going to say, what channel is it on? I don't remember. But you know what? You know how but I'll put it in the notes below. Did I watch? I did watch some makeup things, and I bought some makeup things. So in the coming months, I'll be talking about some of the makeup and some discoveries I've made. So I'll be doing stuff like that. Let's see, what else? I think that's about it. But again, thank you so much. Was this successful? We don't, you know what? Radiation is interesting. Oh, and at one point they thought I had pneumonia, but I decided I didn't have pneumonia because I felt too good. I didn't have a fever. My cough was better. So I decided I didn't. So it's just been, you know what? My kids, let's see, who was down here? My daughter was here. My grandchildren were here. They all beat me at Rummikub. It was wonderful being with them. These teenagers are just delightful, and my daughter is just precious, so I'm very lucky. Oh, and our son came down from Portland and helped us out because, driving to City of Hope, how many times? It's often, and it's an hour each way. So he wanted to help his mom and dad, and he kept us he kept our spirits up, and I got to play Quirkle with him, and we're almost even in wins and losses. So we had fun with him, and as I say, it was it's always I'm always so happy to have my children around. So it really has been a journey. And if you're going through this stuff, something I must tell you. When I sat down to work on the puzzle, I sat down with another patient, and there was we both knew why we were there. We both knew what we were going through, and there was a certain camaraderie, and you feel that way. Other people are suffering, other people are having a tough time, and there's a connection, and you feel for each other. And it was just it was a lovely moment. And maybe that's why I was so kind of attuned to puzzles, because I related to this woman when we were sitting together and talking, and there was just a gentle connection. It was lovely. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. I think I'm back. I'm going to try and be back. I will try and make as many, I'll do the best I can. As I say, sometimes I get so tired, I just put my head down and I'm out for 2 hours. So I'm going to do the best I can. And, but at least I'm communicating with you. And I'm going to try and get one video out a week. You know, you give me a great deal of pleasure. I thank you and appreciate you. Thank you very much.